What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of 30 in 30, and today we're going to talk about realistic natural progression. So I've been bodybuilding now for over 7 years. I feel like I've come a long way, but I wanted to talk about how realistic natural progression actually is. When I first started competing in 2011, I got down to 157 pounds. And while that was okay for the time, I was 19, didn't really know what I was doing, my stage weight has not increased all that much like some people may think. Yes, I've definitely gained a lot of muscle mass in that time period, but it may be less than you would expect. I'll take you through my competing career, and it might help you understand how long it actually takes to put on muscle naturally. So I competed first in 2011 at 157 pounds. I only dieted for like 3 weeks. I really didn't know what I was doing. I lost, maybe like 7 pounds of fat in that time frame, probably a little bit of water when I stepped on stage. The following year I came back, did the same show, which is probably a mistake, but I did it anyway because I didn't know what I was doing at the time. But I competed once again at 157 pounds, noticeably more muscular and noticeably more lean. So that was great. I definitely made a lot of progress within that 1 year time frame, and I would guess I had gained maybe about 3 to 4 pounds of muscle during that 1 year. Now granted, at the time I was fairly untrained. I hadn't really been trained for bodybuilding at all. That was my first real year of specifically bodybuilding, eating like a bodybuilder, training like a bodybuilder. And although I did diet for part of that year, I would say it was safe to say I probably gained 3 or 4 pounds of muscle during that time. And I saw the progress that I made in that year, and I said, great, what if I take that and I continue to learn and get a little bit better and then take a few years off and see what happens. So I did just that. I competed last in 2012 in August, and then I came back in March, April, and May of 2015. So that was, a 3-year off season, give or take, and I got down to 164 pounds. So yes, although I did gain some stage weight, it wasn't that much, and it was in 3 years. In 2012 I was 157 pounds, and then in 2015 I was 164 pounds. So let's say that was 7 pounds in a 3-year period, which the average rate of gain there is just over 2 pounds a year, which is all not that much. Granted, I was definitely leaner in 2015 as well. So let's say let's give myself a couple extra pounds of gain there. So maybe I gained 8-9 pounds in 3 years, but once again that's still roughly like 3 pounds a year if we give me the benefit of the doubt. So after seeing what I did in 2015, I said, well, I did make a lot of progress, but I could tell that the gains were in the process of slowing down. So from May of 2015 to it was August of 2018, I took off from stage to stage, which is over 3 years. During that time frame, granted, the last time I competed in 2015, I said I got down to 164 pounds, and that was true staged lean. Maybe a little bit over dieted, but I was definitely lean. One of the leanest guys in every single competition that I did, so I knew that was the benchmark to go off of. So I knew what my true stage weight was, and other years past, I definitely didn't get peeled, but that necessarily wasn't the goal at the time. In 2015, I got peeled. And then I was like, okay, well, I know I need to get to that level of conditioning again. What's it going to take? So this last time around, was really eye-opening for me to see, what kind of progress I made, in those 3+ years that I took off. And I got down to low body weight actually, and this was depleted. I got down to, I saw one day of 166 pounds, or really it was like high 166s, so we'll call it 167 pounds. And although that was a depleted state, once again, in those 3+ years that I took off, I gained 3, maybe to 5 pounds. Once again, that's not that great of average rate of gain during that time frame. So let's say I gained 1.5 pounds of muscle a year during that time frame, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but 1.5 pounds of muscle for an entire year. Now, granted, my physique looked a lot different than it did in 2015. So I'll take, a couple pounds of muscle gained a year if it's going to make my physique look like that over time. But that's the thing. It's a lot of people don't realize that it literally takes years to build it takes a year to build a couple pounds of muscle. And a couple pounds of muscle doesn't sound like a lot, but on someone's frame, it makes you look totally different. So when I competed in 2015, to be quite honest, I was kind of embarrassed how I looked. Looking back at the pictures now, I was definitely over dieted. I was very, very small. I was stringy. I'm obviously the same height that I was, in 2015, but it looks like a totally different person. My head was smaller, like I was shrunken. This year was, 2018 was much different. I came in a lot fuller, a lot more muscular. Granted, I did gain some muscle during that time frame, which definitely helped me, but I felt like my diet method was a lot smarter, so I probably maintained a lot more muscle during that time frame as well. But my average rate of gain, once again, was probably only about 1.5 pounds. So that is why, I'm going to take another 3 to 4 years off from stage to stage, because I don't want to come back next year and gain, or I should say this year, it is 2019 now, and gain 1 pound of muscle. Like, it's not going to make that big of a difference. I'm not just looking to make subtle changes. For natural progression, it literally takes a full year to gain a couple pounds, and I'm still in the intermediate, I would call it, training phase of my career. As I said at the beginning of my career, when I first started training, I might have gained 3 to 6 pounds or 5 to 6 pounds of muscle in that 1 year training because I was untrained and I was still young. And now I'm not an old man by any means. I'm still fairly young in a lot of people's standards. But now that I've been training for a while, the gains don't come as quickly as they used to. The newbie gains aren't there. They're long gone. So now we're fighting for every single pound of muscle that we gain. Now, once I get past the 10-year mark, that's the kind of number that I had in my head. That would put me to like more advanced training, or just the more years of training, and that's where I feel like the gains will definitely slow down. So that might be, by the next time I compete, after the next time I compete, I'll be, close to 30 in age, 30, 31, and I could see the gains slowing down a little bit from there, but you can still make good natural progression past that point in time. It's just going to come a lot slower. So that is why, if you are younger, you need to take advantage of your prime growth years. I had wished I didn't compete in back-to-back years in 2011 and 2012. If I would have taken 2011 to 2015 to compete, I probably would have made a lot more progress. But looking back, can't change it. You just don't want to spend your prime growth years dieting because you want to take advantage, of the higher testosterone levels if you're a man, all those hormones. Essentially you're going through, not necessarily puberty, but you're in that kind of post-puberty state where everything is just a lot more optimized. Your metabolism's revving as high as it's ever going to, so you could eat all the food, you could recover super well, and then your strength is just through the roof. I feel like you're damn near invincible in those prime growth years. So realistic natural progression, to sum it up, as a lot of us, and this is for someone who is, in the natural bodybuilding community, who has been doing this for a while, realizes that their own progression is slowing. Now, am I disappointed by that? No, because I knew it was coming. But we can't get beat up by it. We can't, when we see these enhanced athletes literally gaining, I've seen one guy gain 50 pounds of stage weight, mind you, 50 pounds of stage weight. Take that into consideration for a second. That's stage weight. That's not just walking around weight, going from skinny, shredded to fat. That's stage weight, from shredded to shredded. 50 pounds in a year. That's 1 pound a week, and we're literally fighting for a pound or 2 a year. So that just goes to show you that they could gain, you know, 25 times faster than we can, you know, in certain circumstances if all the stars align. So that just goes to show you the difference, you know, with natural progression. And I'm always for promoting natural progression for natural bodybuilding. It just takes a lot longer, and the gains do slow down over time. They're not always going to be like they were when we first started. That's just, you know, it's how the cookie crumbles, as my father-in-law would say. So guys, hopefully you found this video informative, you know, and we just can't beat ourselves up about the slow natural progression. You know, it is what it is. We just have to keep pressing forward in order to keep making progress. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in tomorrow for another video of 30 and 30. I'll see you then.